So I know there's quite a few of you out there who are feeling a little bit overwhelmed when it comes to your practicing, what to spend time on, how much time you should be spending. It can all be quite confusing. So today I'm going to help you out and talk about everything you need to know to make that decision for yourself. Hello everyone, I'm Christy-Lyn, and every Thursday I put up harp related videos here on YouTube, so make sure you subscribe so you can be notified every time I put up a new video, and click that notification button too. Today we're talking about how we spend our practice time, and I just wanted to reassure you first off that there is no right and wrong answer about this. I think sometimes people feel like there's this elusive answer. If someone would just tell them how much time to spend practicing and what you should be focusing on, then everything would be better. But this really depends on the person and what your particular needs are, and it also depends on what stage you're in or what you're focusing on at the time. I've spent my practice time very differently in different times of my life, and I also think it's really important to realize that the harp practice time needs to fit in with your life. So it depends on what you want to get out of the harp, but also what you have time for. And it's totally okay if you only have 5 or 10 minutes to practice every day. I've actually got a video about that where you can see how you can really make the most of only 5 minutes of practice time. But if you've got half an hour or an hour, that's awesome. And we're going to talk about how you could spend that time. Now, the way you spend your practice time depends a lot on what your goals are and what you're really wanting to be working on right now. For example, you could be working on basic technique, learning from a method book and just getting started with the harp, or maybe you're further along and you're wanting to correct some things about your technique. Maybe you're wanting to learn some difficult pieces and that's your main focus right now, or maybe you're wanting to build up your repertoire and some of them can be easier pieces. You might be wanting to prepare for a performance and really get things perfected, or maybe you're in maintenance mode and you're wanting to keep up your repertoire. It could also be that you're just wanting to spend some time relaxing with the harp and just enjoying playing. And the way you spend your time is really going to change depending on what you're wanting to focus on. Here are some ideas of how you can use your practice time to meet your needs. If you start your practice and you feel like your fingers are quite stiff and it takes you some time to get going, then a warm-up is a good idea. You might want to do some exercises like some arpeggios, maybe get an exercise book, or you might want to work through a really basic piece and just focus on your technique and how you're plucking the fingers. Now, if you're just getting started with the harp and you're really working on building a basic technical foundation, then a method book is a really good idea. And that will take you step by step through everything you need to know. And you don't necessarily need to include anything else in your practice time. You could just go through the method book step by step. If your priority is improving your technique, you've been playing for a little while but you really want to get better, then it would be a good idea to make sure that if you've already gone through a method book, now you can work on an exercise book or working on a simple piece and just focusing a lot on your technique as you're doing it. So you'd spend a lot of time doing that. If you're working on challenging pieces and you really want to improve and achieve this piece, then you want to spend a lot of time with that piece and use a lot of different practice strategies. So I have a video about a lot of different ideas of practice strategies, and you can check that out and try out chunking or block chords. Those kind of ideas would work really well for you. If your main aim is to build your repertoire and have a lot of pieces you can play for people, then it would be a good idea to look for some easy pieces that you can learn quickly and just spend a lot of time on perfecting a lot of different simple pieces. And I have another video where I have 3 simple pieces that I've written, and maybe that will help you out. If you're preparing for a performance and you have 1 or 2 pieces you really want to perfect, then again you'd spend a lot of time on those pieces and use a lot of practice strategies to focus and iron out all the kinks. And then if you're wanting to memorize, again you spend a lot of time and there's a lot of different strategies you can use to memorize your piece. And if that's your goal, then that's what you spend time on. It's really up to you. If you're wanting to play just for relaxation, then spend time doing that. Have a repertoire list of pieces that you enjoy playing, that you already know really well, that you're comfortable with, and just enjoy playing the harp. Maybe spend some time making something up and just improvising. And playing through your old pieces is also a good way to keep up your repertoire. So it's important to spend some time on that too, just enjoying your instrument. If you're looking for some practical tips, here's some ideas on how you could actually divide up your practice time. I think it would be a good idea to focus on 3 or less things for the day. So you can write down the 3 things that you'd like to focus on, and maybe you can divide up your time for that. Maybe it might be a warm-up, one challenging piece, and playing for relaxation. So if you have half an hour, maybe spend 10 minutes on a warm-up, 10 minutes on the challenging piece, and 10 minutes on just playing for relaxation. Then you can test it out and see if that's working for you. If you find that you don't need 10 minutes to warm up, that's probably the case, then you can shorten that to maybe just 5 minutes, or maybe a 2 or 3 minute piece. Then you can spend 15 or 20 minutes on the challenging section, and then just the last 10 minutes for relaxation. So you can test it out and try dividing it up differently and see what works for you to achieve your goals. You might want to spend your whole practice time just doing one thing. Now that works really well for me. I like to focus a lot and maybe spend a shorter period of time, just 10 or 15 minutes, focusing really hard on one thing. And I might do that a few times during the day if I'm really concentrating on improving one thing about my playing or learning a particular piece. And if you only have a short amount of time, 5 or 10 minutes, then this would be a really good way to go. Focus on the hardest thing that you want to achieve. And I have a video about that, talking about how you can focus when you only have 5 minutes. One more practical tip: if you want to maintain your repertoire, that is the old pieces that you still want to be able to play, then make sure you play them through at least once a week, and that should keep them in your memory. Now just remember, this is a work in progress and this needs to work for you. So you are in charge, you can make up your mind and you can test things out and figure out what works best for you in this particular season with your harp playing. Now if you'd like to chat to some other harpists about what they do and hear different people's practical tips and opinions, then why don't you join us for our virtual harp circle this month. It happens on the 3rd Thursday of every month over on Patreon. So there's going to be a link up in the cards now, and maybe you can join us and try it out. And otherwise, I'm going to see you next week, Thursday, for another harp video. So make sure you subscribe and I'll see you then. Bye.